הניסים ועל הבורחן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל הנפלאות, על הניסים ועל הבורחן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל הנפלאות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה, בזמן הזה שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
Welcome to Jewish Life, a program presented in cooperation with the Jewish Community Relations Council of Long Island. I'm your host, Stuart Ain. Every week we present particular programs of interest to the Jewish community, and today we're going to be speaking about a program called the Virtual Senior Center. 8 years ago, Self-Help Community Services in New York started this program. It allows seniors, many of whom are largely homebound, to form friendships by meeting over the internet. And when the coronavirus lockdown began in March of 2020, participation in this program doubled. And with us today are some of the participants, as well as Tova Klein, who's the Vice President of Self-Help Community Services. Welcome to the program, Tova. And maybe you could just talk a little bit about the program and the idea that, I guess, isolation creates depression, and you guys want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Thank you very much, Stuart. I'd be happy to do so. The Self-Help Virtual Senior Center is I think, inspired product that brings together people who live in their homes and are unable to get out. And as you said, a good portion of us are currently in that situation, in a format where they can talk with other people, meet together regarding topics that are of interest, and not just your everyday kinds of topics. The topics include computer literacy, travel, travel to a variety of places, including to museums, English as a second language, opera, history, political science, as well as karaoke, and also arthritis-based yoga and Tai Chi. It's an opportunity really for people to meet each other as if they were actually in a bricks and mortar senior center, and to make friendships and be able to meet and sustain those friendships regardless of where you are. One of my personal favorite classes on the Virtual Senior Center is a class that takes place at 11 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's for insomniacs. And it's an opportunity for people who are at home and can't sleep to hop on this open chat and find other people in the same situation. It really is a beautiful, beautiful product, and I think it's one of the sweet spots of what we do.
Have any one of you ever tried that 11 p.m. program? That call in?
Unfortunately, I'm asleep by 10.
Okay, good.
But I see it's on every day, so I'm sure it's good.
Right. Now, Robert, you were born in Budapest.
That's correct.
Back in 1938. And,
yes.
And actually you served in the Hungarian army.
No. Who said that?
Your father was conscripted. I'm sorry. Your father was conscripted.
Yes.
Right.
I was really
a child, right.
1 year old. Yeah, when the war started. Yeah, my father had to go in 1942. In early and 1942 he came home for a little bit before he had to go back. And that was the last time I see him as a kid.
Right. And then and finally, and then you ended up being arrested by the Nazis as well?
Well, I was one of the fortunates who survived with my mother in a ghetto.
In a ghetto?
Yes.
Right. right, right.
and my grandmother and my one of my oldest sister, my mother's oldest sister.
Now, but being in a ghetto, we're talking about this pandemic lockdown where people are stuck in their homes, they can't go out. Um, when you were in the ghetto, how free were you to move about?
Well, I'm talking about I was 4, 5, 6 years old actually.
Yeah, because you run outside to play?
I don't really remember much except what I was told by my mother and the family. Uh, it was a crowded place. I know exactly where it was. Because after the war, my mother worked there in that same place where the ghetto was. So I remember the place. It's very little that I can remember outside of that. I know it was a horrible place.
Right, 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 right. Why did you join this virtual senior center?
Well, it's a complicated story. I actually I lost my partner 3 years ago, who I lived with for 55 years, and the
You think
hospice
you
team,
lost your partner? Yeah,
sorry, yeah, MJHS, who was the support group for the hospice team to take care of Jimmy. They give me the names of support groups, including Selfhelp. And through Selfhelp, I don't know how to say this, but I am so grateful that I'm still here because they really put me together emotionally, physically, financially, every way I can tell you. The greatest social workers and volunteers.
right, right. Elizaveta, can you tell us, welcome, and um, why did you join?
I'd like to tell that self-help for itself, this is the best what can happen to people, what can come to them. And virtual class, this is only one from all programs. And from early morning to late evening, of what you like, what you want. English from beginners to improve English, computer classes to improve all health program, travel all the world, opera, they do all programs. But I like something to tell a little bit about virtual class. We have some people, they're physically disabled. They are in the bed, they cannot get up.
Yes.
And with this program, they're just physical, but they have perfect memory, they have normal brain, they so interesting to talk about all. They know history, they know everything. And because of this program, they are in the middle of the world. They're so happy when they're not alone at home. That they are in our company, we talk, we share, what, I see so smile faces, so happy faces, and this is the best.
Wow.
I agree.
Yeah. Pat Bartel, talk to me. Why did you come?
Well, Stuart, I was sent a link from the Self-Help Center in my neighborhood, which is Maspeth, Queens in New York. We are located exactly 1 mile from the epicenter, which was the Elmhurst Hospital.
Yeah, sure.
People now recognize that name, Elmhurst Hospital. And our center is about 3/4 of a mile from Elmhurst Hospital. So I had been sent the link and I couldn't imagine how the programs could be run over the computer because I had worked with some ladies doing arts and crafts and knitting, and I have attended exercise, have lunch in the center. So I ignored it for several weeks. And then another lady that I talked with on the computer said, "Did you go on virtual?" And I said, "No." She said, "You really should try it." So I got in touch with the director, and she set me up with George, who maintains the computers through one of the centers, and he was absolutely wonderful. I don't have a standard type computer. I work with a Kindle and a Chromebook. And he worked with me to get it on the Chromebook. And then from there, I learned how to take the Zoom ID number, put that in my Chromebook, as I'm using it right now today with the Zoom. And it's just been delightful. I haven't been out much. I get all my groceries delivered and whatnot. So to be able to network with people is really, it's terrific. And I know Tova mentioned quite a few programs, but I didn't want to slight one that I find is absolutely wonderful. Do you know we have a social worker? Her name is Deirdre. And you can really feel like your problems are not exclusive to you. The ladies and the men will say a certain thing and it'll ring a bell and you can relate to it. And she said a most interesting thing when she started the class this week. She read a formal agreement, which said that what happens in the virtual center stays in the virtual center. Kind of like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And I was happy to hear that because it allows you to feel more comfortable to share.
Yes.
And so many of us seniors have so much in common that we can share. And it's a wonderful program.
Right. And John Gaddis, tell us what prompted you to join?
Well, I found out just recently that Grace is the same. She went to the same center that I went to, and we're from the same town. I just met her just recently, about a month ago, I think, in one of the classes, and we really haven't discussed anything. But someone asked her where she was from, and then I said, "Oh, I'm from Maspeth too." What caused me to join? I read, someone told me that the Self-Help brick and mortar place was giving free computer lessons. And I decided, well, free computer lessons, I got to go there and find out. So I went there, and sure enough, they were giving computer lessons. And the woman, Maria Dixon, said, "Okay, you come in once a week." And my wife said she was computer literate, but she said I could never learn. She could never teach me. So when I went to the center, the instructor was much more understanding than my wife was, let's put it that way. So I started learning the computer, and I'm sort of a jokester, and people of our age were having a bit of a problem. And I learned very quickly because I was in technical skills before. And then I was helping the people there. And they came on down and told Ms. Dixon, they said, "That man upstairs, John, he helps us out a lot." Couldn't really explain it. He stays later. And everything worked out so wonderfully being in there. But Dolores and I never went to any meals or anything like that. Subsequently, very shortly, she unfortunately passed away. And I had a stroke after that. And Ms. Dixon somehow found out that I was incapacitated. She called me up and said that, "Would you like to have a computer sent into your home because you're incapacitated?" And I said, "Maria, I'm not really interested in that." She said, "Please try it." She said, "Please." And I did. And that really changed my life. After that, I went through therapy and everything, and now I'm mobile. I walk, I can drive to the local supermarkets at least. But this computer keeps me alive, keeps me knowledgeable, keeps me, I can't say friends. A friend is a strange thing to say when you have a friend, but virtual friends, which I can say are absolutely, absolutely great to have, to speak with, to josh with, to get information from, to give information to. So it's made me very happy. And then I go to Jim's class, and going there, my granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter, is graduating out of a special singing school now. She sang in Children of New York for 10 years. And now she's going to a school to learn how to be a vocalist. And so through this, through Jim, through everybody else, it's really been great for me. And I want to thank Selfhelp.
That's great. That's great. Jim Sergey is a facilitator. You were a former singer with the New York City Opera. Is that right? Or you still do it, some of it?
No, well, no, I'm down in Georgia now, but I was for about over 10 years. And then I concertized after that with my wife. We had a little show called Dialogues and Duets, and went around and did half opera and scenes from musicals with orchestras around the country. And then after that, well, I still kept active, sang on Long Island with the Long Island Pops for
yes,
16 years.
You're a baritone?
Baritone, right, right. And then I taught at NYU, I taught at St. John's University, I taught at Wagner College, and then we retired here a couple of years ago. And fortunately, I was able to continue the class because I always been I've been with Selfhelp for years, and I used to go into the center when I was living on Long Island. And so anyway, I was just very fortunate that it continued. You know, I see people that I have frequently seen in the 10 o'clock class, and what we do is we do music, we do opera, we do musicals, we profile Hoagie Carmichael. We do jazz. We'll do most of it comes from the class. Whoever, you know, somebody says, hey, let's do Hoagie Carmichael. Okay, I'll do some research this week and I'll see you next Friday. And we'll profile that and play the music and grab some videos if I can. And as a matter of fact, right now we're doing the Magic Flute, Mozart's Magic Flute. Okay, so we've been on that for only 1 week. So 10 o'clock on Friday, if you want to hear a little bit of Mozart.
So right. So do the participants sing with you? Do they?
We don't really do any singing.
Oh,
no. We basically we listen, and and then I do some research on the opera itself. For instance, the Magic Flute's just full of symbolism, and so I relate a little bit of that. You know, try not to get too boring. You know, let's just get to the music and listen to that. Right.
Stuart, may I say something when you have a minute?
Sure. How big a group do you get? How many people come to your class, Jim?
Usually I have between 25 and 35.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I have a real good turnout. A lot of times it depends on whether they want to, what somebody might not care that much about. But then other times it draws other people in.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Robert, you want to say something? Robert Bayer?
I wanted to say something. Is it okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Look, I don't know sometimes how to express myself correctly, but the way Patricia put that and John put it about the self-center visuals art, senior visual art, it's exactly what I feel about. And they put it down, they put it much better than I did. So
No.
that's part of that. Oh, and also James, that Friday morning's program that he has, he also gives the history of everything that we listen to. So it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
Right. Elizabeth, can you tell me, and when you talk to people here, do you feel that you're making friends, or is it a different from making friends? How do you see the people on here?
You mean on virtual class?
Yeah.
Of course, you know what, we just like, we come to this class and we already like family. Yes, it's friends, it's definitely friends. And we know each other, everybody tell, you know, how they participate in this class, and one and second, and you know, a lot.
What do you talk about?
What we talk about?
Yes.
You know what, like it was class, English class, and we talk about culture. What is the difference between American culture and Russian culture? This Russian-speaking class. It was very interesting. Everybody talk what they think about, and you know what? And I think it was, for me, it was hardest part to forget about culture what used to be before, and to be the same, you know, like here, except American. So, and you know, and my girls, this virtual class, they talk also the same.
You were living in Kiev until 1991, is that right?
It's correct. October 29, 1991.
91. Right. And yeah, I was in Kiev in 1996, I think, and very interesting city. And
Just to visit.
it's what?
Just to visit, not to live.
That's okay. As a tourist,
Yes.
not going back.
Kiev, one from the most beautiful city in all world, and very green, very in architecture, still, you know, Bartolomeo Rastrelli and Rossi built some buildings in Kiev, you know, beautiful.
Yes.
But just to visit.
Yeah. Tova, is there a limit to the number of people you can have in your program? Or as I mentioned, it's expanded, it doubled in size, the number of participants since March, since the coronavirus hit.
So we actually are simultaneously working to increase our bandwidth in terms of being able to add on more people. We've been getting requests from all over the country, not only from individuals, but from groups who are interested in providing this. Right now, I can tell you that we have a grant that will pay for membership for 100 low-income individuals starting July 1 for 12 months. So if you know of anybody, and if anybody out there knows of anybody, you know, I urge you to reach out to us. But capacity is definitely something that we are working on and that we are confident we're going to be able to do. Our membership right now is at about 425.
I know when you went statewide, a little while ago. Now, did I hear you say you're going to go nationwide too?
So we have members who live throughout the country, individual members.
Yes.
But we've had requests from groups that want to add either members to our existing virtual senior center or to create their own channel. So for example, to have a virtual senior center for a particular city.
I see.
And we actually have a healthcare organization that's interested in signing some of their members up, a significant number of their members up, because participating in the virtual senior center has been shown to affect people's sense of well-being, which we know, there've been lots of studies done on the effects of social isolation on people's health, physical health as well. And so, they're looking to reduce their costs. So they're interested in signing their members up.
Yeah, Patricia, what do you? Is there one particular program you like the best?
I try often to pop into different programs to see what it's about. I may not stay the whole hour. I'd like to get an overview if it's something I would come back to at another time. In fact, last night I popped into, I believe his name was Dustin. He was giving what a wonderful presentation about the stock market. Not advice, but explaining terms and understanding. Where can anyone get this type of advice? Often we just sit in with our advisors and we nod our head in agreement. But with him, I took a few notes. Next time I'll have a few questions. And I feel the same way about the medical programs. Listen, we all have many medical conditions. We know what we should do. We have our limited time with the doctor. But these facilitators who come on week after week and remind us about our sodium, how to take our medications, how to test for diabetes. This is a valuable program, and you cannot put a price tag on it.
Right.
Amen.
Yes.
Yoga.
Everybody's so Jim, maybe what was the most? Have you thought about bringing your family in, maybe your wife, and doing a duet for the group?
Well, actually, she has been on the program several times because many of the roles that she performed over the years, she has these great publicity shots. So I hold it up and people talk and interact, and we have a wonderful time. Here she is now.
I thought I heard my name.
Hey, there you go. Hi, how are you?
Well, being a performer, if I get a chance to be on camera, here I am.
Absolutely. Well, then, you know what? We've got 1 minute left. Would you guys sing us out with a song that you could show us what a duet is?
Oh, put us on the spot. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what would it be?
Blank. There's no business
like show business, like no business I know.
Have a great day, everybody.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. Down in Georgia. Great. There you go. Very good. Well, listen, this has been a great half hour. I thank you so much for joining us. And the name of the program, again, is the Virtual Senior Program. And it's through the Self-Help New York. And thank you very much. Just look at their website and you can click on and perhaps even join. So thank you. My name is Stuart Ain. This has been Jewish Life. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.